what the city is talking about. This is Montreal Now on News Talk Radio, CJAD 800.
That is James Mennie. He is over at the Montreal Gazette. Jim, we have a bonus today. Now we're going to be talking about the REM. So I asked our house band to put together a song for the REM, outlining the big, fiasco that it's turned out to. You ready?
Yep.
Here you go.
In Montreal town, they thought they'd found a way to bring folks out and around. But that elevated rail, oh, what a tale. Turns out it's just $1 billion fail. They spend a fortune, every dollar, every cent. Now every day is a new lament. Breaks down, stalls out. It's never on time, but we're paying for it just the same, standing in line. It's a really expensive mess, this elevated rail stress. Promised us the moon, and what do we get? Just a nightmare we can't forget.
There you go. The really expensive mess. That's the new definition of the acronym we have now for the REM. So, Jim, yet again, or maybe I should say yet still, the REM continuing to not work. So, I don't know. We're kind of stuck with this thing. Nothing's going to happen, I guess, from this point on, other than we keep spending more and more and more money.
Well, if nothing happens, somebody's head deserves to be on a spike there, Aaron. I mean, when the transport minister summons the heads of the REM and, the rest of the brain trust that is responsible for this fiasco for a meeting in her office this afternoon, and the REM breaks down again, I think we've gone beyond. I mean, it would be a sitcom, but nobody would believe it. The fact is the trains don't work. The fact is the tracks don't work. And the fact is they're claiming they're going to extend this non-service out into the West Island. It's not going to happen. In the meantime, taxpayers and commuters got screwed with their pants on. They lost bus service across the Champlain Bridge. They lost the Two Mountains train because why? This was the brilliance of the province saying this is going to be a commuter train that's going to work for everyone. And you know what, Aaron? On paper, it looks great, okay? Until, of course, there was, theory and practice. And the practice was we had a hint. When the trains got over here from when they were built in India, we discovered the doors didn't work. Now, I don't know about you, but I ain't no boxcar Willie. I don't like to sit there and watch the scenery go by, especially in the middle of January. So that was a hint right there. But it's every day. And, we're talking here about, and this is being, to a certain extent, overshadowed by this record-setting snowfall that we've endured over the past week. But let's face it, the REM is making and breaking its own records when it comes to unreliability and absolutely embarrassingly bad service. And I would love to hear what the explanation is going to be. Because they keep saying, they claim it's a communications issue. There isn't a problem. Every morning, it's like clockwork. You go on there, the REM will announce our trains are not working. Oh, because of a technical issue. Oh, because there's snow on the tracks. This is where we are. And we're expecting people, seriously, to turn around, especially people on the South Shore right now, to turn around and abandon their cars and stand in line for a train which may or may not make it across the Champlain Bridge. And even there, you're rolling the dice, right? Because there have been breakdowns on the bridge in the past. It's an absolute scandal. And the fact that, there are no torches and pitchforks yet suggests to me that there's so much else on the public's plate that we're not paying enough attention to this. But let me tell you, at $7 billion, man, did we get screwed.
Yeah, except it's not $7 billion. It's $9.4 billion as of November. So that's only 3 months ago, Jim. And it's not done. It's going to end up costing more.
Oh, no, absolutely not. And God knows now what the price tag is going to be to make it go. They have to come up with a solution, right? So I don't know. But it's going to cost us at least a couple of more billion to have, the trains work and the tracks work. In other words, the fundamental stuff that's supposed to work, in order for it to actually work, it's going to cost us way more money. And I tell you, and remember, we can't blame the CAC for this exclusively. This began on the watch of Philippe Couillard, and it has gone from new level of incompetence to new level of incompetence with every passing year. And quite frankly, I'm really wondering if it's possible to turn the ship around and just pull the plug, because honestly, I don't see any good coming from this.
You know, the thing with that is, you mentioned that meeting that they're going to have, and I know Alstom, right, the people who built these things are involved as well. What are you going to sit around the table? This is kind of like meeting the grocers in Canada when prices started going up and making it look like you were, going to lay down the law and things would change. And of course, they never did. What are you going to go back to Alstom and demand some of their money back because it's not running the way it's supposed to run? I don't understand what's supposed to come of that.
I know, it's always the same folks who get the contracts, right? SNC Lavalin, Alstom, all these consortiums. But I gotta tell you, I mean, even with the Azure trains on the Metro, there was a shakedown period, but by and large, they tend to work now. The REM has been nothing but trouble from day one, and I think I would be less angry about this if the clowns responsible for this fiasco were not so arrogant and saying, oh, by the way, we'll have exclusive rights to go across the Champlain Bridge. We'll have exclusive rights to use the Two Mountains line. We'll have exclusive rights to serve these particular areas, and we not want to have any competition from like buses or whatever, which is absolutely ridiculous. It's so counterproductive, it's not even funny. But on top of everything else, the trains that we're supposed to rely on clearly do not work. Honest to God, Aaron, if this was private sector, this whole part and parcel of these clowns running the REM would be thrown into a trebuchet and shot over the wall.
By the way, Texter, just maybe he's right. Texter, Aaron, it seems the REM is the safest way of transportation because it never works, so it can never have accidents or mishaps. Well, thank you for that, Texter. Yeah, it when it runs, it's great. The problem is it virtually, every day this week, I think, right? We're only into Tuesday, but
virtually every day this week, but certainly the last 3 days. Whenever it snows, Aaron, now I understand that the forecast is calling for clear skies till the end of the week. So I guess it's clear sailing.
Well,
we'll have to wait. We'll have to adopt a wait and see attitude to see if it freaking snows in Montreal between now and March.
There might be too much sun, Jim. That could be a problem. All right. Let me move on and talk about, first of all, there's a new Angus Reid poll out today. We just talked about this with our CTV reporter. And it's got the Liberals within 3 points of the Conservatives if an election was held with Mark Carney as the lead.
Yes, and what's amazing is because this is an online poll, so they don't have a margin of error, but if they did have a margin of error, it would be 3 points. So let's say it's a dead heat. But I got to tell you, I have it punched up right in front of me right now, Aaron, and for me, the number that strikes me the most, NDP, 10%.
Yeah.
They are poised to disappear. This is for real. Jagmeet Singh, NDP leader, the worst favorability rating ever of all the leaders right now. So clearly he's been the biggest loser in all of this chaos that has erupted in the wake of Donald Trump's unofficial declaration of war on Canada. But the other thing I find fascinating here is I remember mentioning this to you a couple of months ago. Pierre Poilievre actually broke through to a plus rating on his favorability. In other words, his favorables were sufficiently high from his unfavorables that he, in fact, got into plus territory. He was at plus 5, I think. He's back to like minus 57. It's like this Liberal campaign, I know it is at arm's length from all the candidates. I know it's got nothing to do with Carney, but this Liberal campaign is being run like the old Liberal Party a lot of us knew and kind of were frightened of. They have done a number on him, and I got to tell you, this poll, as far as I'm concerned, to be in a dead heat at this point from where they were even 2 months ago is huge trouble. This is a crisis for the Conservative Party of Canada, and it's going to be very interesting to see if the Conservative caucus, who up until now seem to have taken and respected their vow of silence, actually starts piping up about which way their party is going. Because right now, boys, it ain't looking good. And quite frankly, as long as the similes, as long as those edits of video of Pierre Poilievre saying remarkably the same thing that Donald Trump says keeps going on, I don't think those numbers are going to change. At this point, there will be a difference. I think Carney is the strongest candidate right now. Ironically, the only person who's met Donald Trump and whooped him is Chrystia Freeland. But I think her association with Trudeau that's really, really hurting her. But all that said, at this point, I think it's more liberal and conservative. And boy, oh boy, the Conservatives have got an anchor around their neck in the form of a leader who just – did you see they refer to him as Timbit Trump? No. Yeah, that's because all the name calling, right? So now the critics are calling Poilievre Timbit Trump. Oh. But, listen, it's I don't know if it'll stick. Okay. All that said, though, that's where we are. And really, and I was listening to your discussion with our correspondent in the last half hour. I think they will go to the polls in a New York minute once the leader is chosen.
You'd have to think that, wouldn't you? I mean,
Absolutely.
You're riding a wave here, so why would you wait?
And I think the public would not stand for it. The public would not stand. Never mind the fact that, if Carney wins and he'd be in the gallery and so on and so forth. I think there is a sense of mission here that far transcends booing the U.S. national anthem in hockey games. I think people are riled up, and I think if you don't tap into that now, you're going to be wasting an opportunity that you will not see again for a very, very long time.
Boy, it truly is amazing how things have changed in literally just a month. It's astounding.
It's crazy because I think back on conversations you and I have had, even around Christmas, around New Year's. It's like we were on another planet.
Yeah.
We were, it was like nothing else was there, and now all of a sudden, everything has changed. Even the Liberals are going after the CAC now because it looks like Legault didn't diversify markets enough, and now that works in Trump's advantage. All of a sudden, every dynamic, every battle tactic in Canadian and provincial politics has changed because of Donald Trump.
And that's where we leave it, Jim. Thank you.
Adamant.